want you to show me how to get to know someone like you, someone like you. I want you to know me, 'cause I know then you'll see we could be true.
Hello and welcome to this Tinkerbell inspired turned Bugs Life makeup tutorial. So this morning while I was drinking my coffee out of my Tinkerbell mug, inspiration hit and I thought, why don't I do a Tinkerbell inspired makeup look? The kind of look that Tinkerbell would wear maybe if she was human, but I started playing with a green eyeshadow and somehow ended up here. I guess it's sort of a seafoamy green, but it's not really Tinkerbell, is it? So let's just call me Sully and leave it at that. Either way, of course, it's a green eyeshadow look, which I've never done before because I have yellow skin. And green and yellow just don't go well together. But I tried it and I'm not completely mad at it. I think it looks alright. Either way, it was fun to do and I think I would really like it if it wasn't on me. Just cut this out. That looks cool, right? If you'd like to know how I got this look, then please keep watching. If you're wondering why I look like a cocaine addict, it's because I forgot to do my eyes before my foundation and I don't want any fallout, so if I have like a layer of powder here and it does fall down, then I can just wipe it away. That being said, let me just add a little more. If you weren't already convinced that you needed the Eco Tool sponge in your life, here's another example of why it's so great. You can just do straight lines so easily. So I'm going to set my eyelids with soft ochre paint. So first I'm going to set my eyelids with I can't speak. First I'm going to set my eyelids with soft ochre paint pot from MAC. I actually managed to say that on like the 10 millionth try. Well done, you idiot. Then I'm going to remember how much I hate this and regret my decision. Next I'm going to take just a powder shade from the Kat Von D Shade and Light palette and use that to set my eyelids. With all this powder on my face, my skin feels so dry, it feels so tight. It feels like either I've had a facelift or I'm like a million years old and my skin's dried out so much. Okay, so now that's that done. I can't speak English today. Now that that's done, I'm going to use this fluffy crease brush and I'm going to pick up some of this grey shade and use that in my crease. I'm just going to take a slightly smaller brush and go in with the darker grey shade here and use that one in my crease also, just a tiny bit lower. Then I'm just going to take that dark grey again in an even smaller brush and put some of that on the outer corner. Well, I guess outer corners, I don't have one eye, I'm not Cyclops. Although that would be pretty cool. That would definitely cut down the time of your makeup. Okay, so now I'm going to go into the green, which is what I'm super scared of. Pray for me. Okay, so now I'm going to go into Maui. As always, pronunciation is terrible, but this green shade from the Juvias Place Masquerade palette. Boy, have I missed this palette. My old baby. I'll always come back to you. And I'm just going to start applying that to the inner corner of my lid with this really tiny little brush. Tiny little flat shade brush. Which has also got yellow food dye on it because that shit gets everywhere. Things I do to get a perfect foundation match, eh? Oh, I forgot to mention I just changed to a different brush halfway through. This one was way too small, it was taking forever, so I'm just going to use this big one. Also I feel like it's got more bristles, so it's picking up more pigment, whereas this one's kind of like flimsy. This one's a bit thicker. Okay, so now that that's done, I'm going to go into a slightly different shade of green. I'm going to use this sparkly shade from the Jaclyn Hill Morphe palette, and I'm just going to put that. I find it very difficult to find words, but you know what I'm talking about. I'm going to put it the next shade along. I feel like this colour goes very well because it's very similar shade, just slightly more bluey. So it mixes in nicely, but it also looks like a kind of gradient. And then last but not least, I'm going to go in with the next shade along, this sort of like olivey colour, and put that on the outermost part. Spritz up again. Now I'm just going to go in with that crease brush and take the grey again from the Kat Von D palette, the darkest grey, and use that to fluff out the crease. Just so there's no harsh lines, because at the moment it just looks like colour. Now I'm just going to take this same fluffy brush and take some of this shade here, this yellowish shade from the Jaclyn Hill palette, and put that in my crease also, just slightly higher. Then just to deepen it a bit, I'm going to take some of this grey here from the Jaclyn Hill palette, and again, put that in the crease. Okay, so moving on from the eyes for a bit, I'm just going to dust off this powder. Whew, sweet, sweet freedom. I'm just going to bronze up with some of the Nars bronzer in Laguna. Definitely want to bronze up today because of the green eyeshadow. If you have very yellow skin like me, you start looking very, very sallow. So definitely want to get some of that colour back in our cheeks. I actually hit pan in this bronzer on. It's the only thing that I've ever hit pan on, and I'm strangely proud of myself. Okay, now I'm going to use some blush, and I want to go for something quite neutral, so I'm going to use the Immortal Flower by MAC. And then for highlight, I'm going to use the Merry Luminizer. by the Balm. I would use my Ofra highlighter because I use that all the time, it's my favourite, but look what happened to it, it just shattered. I didn't even drop this, like it was broken before and it was just in my makeup bag and I got it out to use it and it's literally everywhere. Like my phone is covered in highlighter. It looks pretty but it's not practical. But you know what, I'm going to use it anyway because nothing has the glow of this. It's so amazing, and even if it's shattered. I mean, come on. Okay, so back to the eyes. I'm just going to take a little bit more of that grey and work that into the crease. Just because I feel like when you work with shimmers and the Fix Plus, it can give quite a harsh line and it's difficult to blend out because with the Fix Plus it presses the pigments down so much. It's almost like glue. So you really have to work with them just to make sure that there's no harsh lines. And now that that's done, I'm just going to go in with the lid colours to intensify them a bit because I've blended them out quite a bit. So first I'm going to go back in with the shade that I cannot pronounce. Cannot pronounce. From the Juvias Place palette. And then the second green from the Morphe palette. And then some of the third shade, of course. Okay, and then for the lower lash line, I'm going to use some of the Urban Decay Glide on Eye Pencil in the shade Junkie, just to do a little bit of a line. Not in my waterline, just underneath. And these dry really fast, so while it's still wet, you want to work with that and just smudge it out. If you notice my mouth continuously moving, that's because whenever I put eyeshadow on, I do this. And I'm trying my hardest not to do it, but now I just keep going. Oh my god. Okay, now that's done, I'm just going to take this pencil brush and a bit of the green shade. That's similar to the shimmer green, but it's matte from the Jaclyn Hill palette. And work that into this shade. Just smoke everything out. Then I'm just going to take a bit of that yellow that I put in the crease also and work that in. And I'm also just going to take a bit of the grey that I used and use that to buff that out also. I'm keeping that to the outer corner so we sort of have what's happening on the lid repeating on the bottom. Now I'm going to try and do some black eyeliner. I say try because I suck at this. And I got from my brush. Found it. I say try because I suck at eyeliner. But I feel like without it I might just look like a big old bug. So let's give this a whirl. So let's give this a go. Meta. I'm going to need to be so close to my face. I'm just going to keep that at like a straight line and not a wing because I was having enough difficulties as it is. This is like quite dried out at this point. I need to buy a new one. I don't want to try the wing and then mess everything up, and I can't even take it off because I've already done my makeup. But now I'm just going to curl my eyelashes and put the mascara on. So I'm just going to use a bit of inner corner highlight. I'm going to use the whitest cracked up shade in the Ofra thing. Ofra thing, that's all it can be called at this point, a thing. Okay, so that's the end of this makeup tutorial. God knows what I'm going to call it, who knows. Seafoam, Tinkerbell, green, but anyway, yeah, thanks for watching and cheerio. Still doing it.